What's going on, HBCU family? Welcome to another edition of the HBCU Sports Podcast. I am Chris Stevens, and today I am joined by Kyrstin and Scharon Johnson. If y'all are not familiar, Kyrstin was the national vault champion at Talladega College this past year, and there's a bit of a problem. And if you guys haven't been keeping a track of the story, Kyrstin and her teammates are trying to raise money to keep the program going because Talladega announced not too long ago that they were canceling the program. And Kyrstin, I want to open up the floor to you. Just tell us what that whole process was like. Like, what happened? What was like? What went on with that?
Honestly, it was just a shock to all of us because we had no idea that this would even happen. When I tell you that it was just out of nowhere, it was crazy. I think maybe it was like on a Thursday. At like 9 a.m., we all got an email saying that there was like a mandatory Zoom meeting. We didn't really think that much of it. We didn't know what was going on, so we all hopped up on the Zoom meeting. All of a sudden, there was just like, there's not going to be a gymnastics program anymore. And I was even sitting there. I was just like, are y'all joking? I was even looking at my parents. I was just like, dude, what are we going to do? I'm like, so do I have to become a walk-on? I was just thinking how late it was that they told us. I was just like, we didn't get any notice. You guys didn't even come together. Let us come together and be like, okay, we are struggling with finances right now. This is what we could do. Just nothing. Like, the program is cut. You guys have to suck it up. This is it. And it's weird because it actually took me a couple of days for it to really sink in. Definitely when our page was taken down, that was like the cherry on top for me, because I was just like, what does the page have to do anything with this process? I'm like, you're literally taking away all of the memories that we've made as a team. Like, that's just ridiculous. So I felt like that we weren't appreciated for what we've done. I feel like that we were thrown away like trash. And it was heartbreaking and just very disappointing because honestly, I don't think anybody knew about Talladega until the gymnastics team came in. So it was just really hard. And we've all just been trying to balance this and try to figure out what to do. And that's when the fundraiser came in.
Okay, so whose idea was it for the fundraiser? Was it just like one person in particular, or you all just kind of got together and said, no, we have to try this?
I actually had an idea.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And discussed it with Darren Moore of Brown Girls Do Gymnastics, and decided it would be best not to be a GoFundMe, but a nonprofit fundraiser. And since all of that is tied into Brown Girls Do Gymnastics, HBCU Alliance, the Isla Foundation, it's all, wrapped up into one, and they're responsible for these first programs, now the third, even existing. So it was a great idea and a great effort.
Yeah. So is it still ongoing?
It is.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the ways that y'all have tried to, promote this? Because in today's world, it's pretty, easy to just, be able to share things on social media. Just how has that been a help in raising the awareness of what's going on, and just the general shock that you all literally found out about this at 9 a.m. on a Thursday, which is absolutely blowing my mind.
I think it's blowing a lot of people's mind because, like, your platform is HBCU Sports. You follow a lot of HBCUs. Have you ever heard of any HBCU dismantling a program like this? And a
Can't say I have.
And a successful one. That's, I think, what's mind-boggling for everyone. Yeah. And the fundraiser really came about of just the outpour of people wanting to chip in and trying to save the program because it was a successful program. It wasn't like they just added it to the school and nothing came of it. They're pretty historical, not just for being the second HBCU team. We started the fundraiser, and then our goal was to just put it out there as much as possible. Kyrstin's platform carries a lot of followers. throughout her, teammates and the Talladega gymnastics page alone. So starting with that and then hitting up, others that have been concerned. My thing is for those that quickly put the story out there that the team was coming to an end, they can also put it out there just as quickly that we're trying to save it. Because the announcement was that the school was having a problem with funding. Sorry, the dog is going through something. The thing that was put out there by the school was that it was a funding issue. So then let's just raise the funds and do it ourselves. So the platforms that, we reached out to, some we didn't have to reach out to because it just was a domino effect and just trickling down, to the next and to the next. And then we relied on fans of Talladega Gymnastics. It's quite a bit of followers on that page as well. We had that out there until the school took control of the page, and then they dismantled that too, which was, as she said, disheartening and kind of confusing. You're supporting the girls, but you're almost like trying to erase their existence. Help it make sense.
That was going to be my next question. Just how frustrating is that to know that everything that y'all have put, like, blood, sweat, and tears is a cliche, but, I just watched Simone Biles this morning and, just seeing the work that she and her teammates have put in, just seeing, knowing that gymnastics is not an easy sport by any stretch of the imagination, and to have that taken away, just how frustrating is that? And just, it feels sort of like the antithesis of the mission of Black colleges. And it probably has to be a shock to you and your teammates, Kyrstin, because obviously y'all probably could have gone and, competed other universities, but y'all chose to start a brand new program, and for them to kind of take it away from y'all just has to be disheartening.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention, I'm so sorry. Not to mention the new recruits that just got recruited.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got team 1 and then team 2 was coming, the second year. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine graduating from high school and know that you have all your plans ahead of you of where you're going to school, and you've had all of these offers and opportunities, and you just decided, nope, I'm going to this one.
I want to make history in them.
Boom. No, just I'm going to this one, only to get to the door and knock. And they say you're not welcome. The math isn't mathing.
No, it's not. It's not. So just to kind of give an update, like, obviously, Kyrstin, you've probably, I imagine being a national champion, you've gotten some interest from other universities. So what are you and Scharon, what are your plans at this point in time for her?
Well, we're waiting for the midnight hour.
Yeah.
Good old Wilson Pickett. Yes.
That's literally what's happening.
Yep.
I know they said to the 31st, the fundraiser is still active. And if you ask me, until the 31st does not have to be the deadline for that fundraiser, because if it doesn't succeed with Talladega, these girls still have to go somewhere. And the whole purpose of the devastation that people understand is that financial aid is closed. Yes. Teams have been already formed. So a lot of these girls are going to be like either walk-ons or having to take a gap year.
And that was really frustrating for me, because them telling me that, I'm just like, so now I have to think about my parents possibly worrying about money, or just, that was kind of like a burden like put on me, because I just came from somewhere, I was on a scholarship.
Right.
And
full ride.
Yeah. And then now possibly thinking or just knowing that my parents are gonna have to pay for school, that was stressful. It still is stressful. But yeah, kind of going back to what you were saying about the page, very frustrating. Kind of going back to what I said before, like, we've all been through so much together as a team. And on that page, it was kind of like showing the progression that we went throughout, and even getting up to the point throughout this season. I'm like, you guys just erased all of that. And I'm just like, for what? I'm like, it was something that we could literally go back and look at later on.
The whole
and then even
situation
if
is
people
not
were
respectfully
interested,
being handled. And this is not respectful to these athletes. And it's just like I said to another reporter here recently. Talladega was known by its alumni, you know, and some new students trying to come to that campus. But what these girls faced a lot, you know, was going to a school that's unknown, even if it was a second HBCU. So to get there and have the success that they've had, nobody was talking about Talladega College. Mm-hmm. Now they're talking about Talladega College. Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Talladega College, because these girls put a lot of work in, and that sport is not easy. It's completely mental. You know, they were successful as students as well, you know, but now people are not asking where Talladega is. They know where Talladega is because of Talladega Gymnastics. Again, you're welcome.
So that leads me to a question that is going to be kind of difficult, but it feels like it's a necessary question to ask for context. Mm-hmm. Do you and your teammates, Kyrstin, at all feel kind of, I guess, you know, played by the university in some respects? Like, is it just, I mean, obviously y'all, you know, I mean, if you want to be diplomatic about it, that is perfectly fine. But at the same time, I'm listening to this and it's like, it feels kind of hollow for them to hype you all up and then just take the program from you like
that. No, I don't. I feel like that this was just an unfortunate thing
and unforeseen.
I don't really think that at all.
We just don't like the way they're handling it and how it's being played out in the public.
That's it. Yeah, but I don't feel that way. I don't think any of us do.
So that's an interesting answer. I mean, I'm glad you answered it because I was like, okay, should I ask this? And I'm like, oh, I don't want them to just feel like I'm just trying to, you know, go too far with it. But just for the sake of, you know, just good memories, like this team, like you all competed for a national championship, you won the vault, and you won your event. That had to be a phenomenal feeling. Just what are some of the good memories? If this is it, I mean, I'm not going to say this is it because you guys are still raising funds, but for, you know, just for memory's sake, what are some of the good things that you're going to remember about, you know, the Talladega gymnastics program, you and your teammates, and what you accomplished this past year?
I would just have to say that being in like gymnastics, there's not really a lot of us. And the fact that I was actually able to experience having, you know, girls that look like me on the team was just really nice because, you know, there was like no questions asked, you know, and all of us coming from different places like around the world, we knew nothing about each other. So over time, when we started to get to know each other, that was also just great. And then also, you know, making friends from other teams off the campus. It was fun. It was a really great experience. I don't regret anything about it. But the championship, winning that as well, I mean, I was not expecting that. I just remember being so nervous because at that competition, I wasn't with my team. I was with a whole different team. I was with Cornell. So that was also different as well. And then me also putting, you know, unnecessary pressure on myself because like I'm a perfectionist. And I knew I'd just been working so hard in the gym, and I just kept on thinking like, I don't want to fail. But I just remember just me having so much fun. And then I just remember Cornell just bringing me in, and some of my other teammates, they were also event specialists. So I also remember them also like sitting like in the stands, also cheering me on and getting to see their smile on their face. I made a lot of good memories with the team. So I don't regret a thing. I think it was a great experience. And I know that wherever we go, we'll all still continue to be friends. And yeah.
Yeah. And I guess, you know, that's another question I could have. Just when you are all brought together, you know, like you said, from different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and just how impressive do you feel like people should understand that is that not, I mean, because people from different parts of the country come together to play sports all the time, but to start an entirely different program that this university has never seen before, and hopefully they'll see it again in the future as soon as this year, but just, you know, being able to put yourselves together, you know, become friends and become a really good team. I don't think people understand how impressive that is. Just what are some of the things that you feel like it takes to become a successful gymnastics team, you know, from the ground up?
That's a good question. I
Being
think
relatable. They related just on melanin skin alone.
Yeah.
Hair. That's what that HBCU experience was bringing. That's what all of those girls spoke about, was that it was exciting and very important to become the majority for once and not be the minority.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that's one. And then they both all got to experience the HBCU experience together, you know, and what that meant. So, you know, to get on there, you know, you were bonding with each other, but then they branched out, you know, with, like she said, becoming friends with people associated in other sports clubs. And it's a small campus, so they became a family also. You know, HBCU, that's what that's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
The culture, period.
That's always been the draw. And just want to let you guys close this out. Like, if there's any message that you want to give to your supporters, anybody that's interested in donating, how they can do so, you guys have the floor.
I'll say these young ladies are put in an unfortunate position they did not sign up for and that they did not ask for. And right now, a lot of them, all of them actually, are trying to make some hard decisions along with their parents' pocketbooks. So I say, and I ask people to please continue donating and sharing, because even if it's not at Talladega that they land on August the 11th when they're to report, they still have to go somewhere and it still has to be paid for. There's almost 20 girls displaced right now. And don't think of them as gymnasts, but think of them as students.
Yes.
Because they are students first. And everybody talks about how important getting an education is. So let's put our money where our mouths are.
Well said.
That's a mic drop. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyrstin and Scharon Johnson, thank you all for joining me today. We greatly appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you all for watching the HBCU Sports Podcast. All the contact information is scrolling below for us. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and comment on this video. And we will also post a link to the Talladega Girls Gymnastics fundraiser so they can continue to raise funds. So hopefully they can save the program. Ladies, once again, thank you for joining me today.
Thank
you.